Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. I am so glad you're here. I cannot believe this is my 32nd video in my Sew It Saturday series. I'm excited about that. I can't believe I've still got things going on in my brain that keep me going. Sometimes it's like having writer's block. You know, you have sewer's block or crafter's block, you know, stuff like that. But anyways, last week I did a egg apron. Okay, well with that, a very sweet subscriber that's dear to my heart requested that I do a harvest apron because she has a garden. So that is what is on the table today. And it's also called, in vintage terms, a basket apron. And also, I wanted this to also be long enough so when you're working in the garden, it's also such a thing called a kneeling apron. So this is going to work as both things, a kneeling and a gathering apron. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, don't judge me on my fabric, okay, because it is ugly. I wanted to use junky fabric just to show you how to do this, okay. I would do 2.5 because you need a strap, okay. So 2.5 or 2.25, something like that. And then you're going to need something to tie. And this is a clothesline, cotton clothesline. It's strong, it's sturdy, it will hold up. You can use shoestrings. You need 4 shoestrings. You'll have to tie those all together or whatever. So that's why I said clothesline wire. You can get this at Walmart. It's pretty inexpensive. Dollar store. You can use ribbon. You know, whatever. Okay, so I want this 36, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. Okay, hold on. Well, I tried to show you, but my phone will not let me. See? It just won't. I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyways, that is what we are going to attempt to make. If you saw it, but it is a rounded, you know, like a bowl or a basket type deal. So this is cool because you don't really need a pattern, okay? This will work out with no pattern. What you want to do is you want to take your fabric and you want to fold it right sides together, because you might as well, if you're going to cut stuff out to sew, cut them out right sides together. That way you already have your sides, you know, together, and all you got to do from that point is pin and sew. So let me get this. Alright, we now have fabric. Okay, and like I said, it's 45 wide. So you want to come out some. So now that I have it folded in half, I'm going to fold it again, okay? Now, since this is a curtain, I do have a top edge on here, and I am going to cut that off. So this is my fabric folded in half, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fold towards me. That's the way I like to work, with my folds towards me, okay? Sorry, I had to move a tripod. So now I know I want it 32 long, and I'm short, so if you need it longer, I just measured this to my little body, okay? So if you need it longer, then go longer. So I'm going to mark it here at 32, okay? And then my top was 26. So half of 26 is 13, so you want to mark it to 13. So you're going to go down. The way that this pattern is, I mean, you measure your width, okay? You may be bigger than that, you may be smaller than that. This is just what I did to fit me. So you go somewhere around from the 13, or whatever you are, and you want to go at an angle, okay? And don't forget where you are down here. So if you mark it here, you can go ahead and mark it all the way across. You know, just, this is very forgiving, seriously. So, you probably can't see that. Let me see if I have another chalk. Good God, leave it to me. I can't find nothing. Hold on. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can see this. You go here where you need to start, and then you go out. And you see I messed up. I'm not perfect, y'all. Believe it or not. But you just want to go out just a little, because you want a bowl, like a basket, you know. If you bring it straight up, you have no room, okay? So this is just the best way that I've figured out how to do this. Now we're going to cut both pieces around through here and then curve back around here. So this is going to be big, y'all. And but that's what you want. I'm going to put a couple pins in here so that it doesn't shift, okay? Because this is weird feeling curtain fabric. I'm telling y'all, use what you got, you know, just to practice. But the good fabric for this is heavy cotton, but you don't want it so heavy that you can't pull your string through, okay? So once you get that done, just cut that out. Don't get rid of this piece because you're going to have to cut your tie out of there somewhere. And I'm going to take all my pins out. So carefully take your fabric, keep it together. Keep it together, okay? And you're going to want to put it out like this right here. Now, all your sides should be together. And while it's here, I'm going to go ahead and pin it. So all you want to do is pin this all around the sides, okay? I'll try to zoom in when I'm editing, but this right here, if it separates, just take your top fabric, run your hand across it until it meets again, and then slide your pin in there. Now, when you get this pinned, you're going to have to leave some spaces open, okay? So one I know is right down dead center of the middle. So you can fold it in half, okay? Fold it in half and find your center. I'm telling you, this thing is very forgiving. Just going to draw a line where my center is. You want 1 inch down here. Not a lot. Maybe not an inch. Yeah, an inch. You want to draw 1 inch. Okay? You want to leave that open. Okay? You're going to put a string through there. Now, when you get up here, you're going to at your sides. Now, you don't want it all the way up your waist, okay? You can't see me do that. But anyways, you don't want it all the way up your waist. You want it down some because you're going to be putting stuff in. So, you hold it up to you. Now, I held this up to me and I just put a line where I wanted my basket to start at, you know, which is level with my arms here. So that I could just pick it and put it in. Not that I'm going to be doing this. I'm just saying if I did, you know. So we're going to go over here, and what I'm going to do to get this even is I'm going to line my top up with my line up here. My top's not real straight, so but this don't got to be real straight. So this line comes about right at 11. So I'm going to leave a 1 inch opening where I want this to stop, okay? Alright, now I'm going to take it to the machine. I'm going to sew to my line I made, down to the line, skip, start on this line, go all the way around to my line, skip, go all the way around to my line, skip, and go all the way up. Okay, now you will first want to adjust your needle accordingly. You will need a 12 at least, if not a 14. I am using a 12, I think, but my material is real thin. The thicker your material, the bigger your needle. If you're sewing like a duck cloth, which, you know, that's a little heavy for me, but, you know, it wouldn't draw right, I don't think. I don't know, it's up to you. But if you want a tougher one and you use duck cloth, you need probably a size 14 or 16 needle, okay? So all I'm going to do is I want a good seam here because we're going to be folding something in. Alright, so I'm going to put my needle all the way to the left, and I'm going to use my presser foot for my guide. And I'm just going to sew all the way around this, pulling over where my slits are. back stitching. And then I'm just going to lift my foot, go over to where my other line is, sew, back stitch, and then go. I'm going to do that on each one. Now that you got that sewn, hopefully you didn't do like me and go through your little doodads here, because I got to get rid of stitches. But just want to clip your, just run a seam ripper or snip your little ends, and then do that on all your pieces, on all your little holes here. Where's my other one? I messed up so bad here, I don't even know where my hole is. Okay, I gotta go take these stitches out. Then what you want to do is you want to flip it inside out, okay? And when you flip it inside out, you're going to want to make sure you push your rounded corners out, and then give it a good press with your steam iron. Steam is best, of course. But if you don't, then spray it with water. Just make sure you get your seams pretty flat, alright? So I'm going to go iron mine. Sorry, I got everything everywhere. Alright, now we're flat. Okay? Now I will tell you this. Before you sew anything else, you can take your apron, and where you got your cracks, or openings, where you got your openings, I hope y'all can see this. This is so crazy. It's a lot of fabric. Take your seam, and you can finger press it, whatever, just to get that open. Now, you can take this to your machine. Oh, it's way down here. I'm sorry, I was pressing the wrong thing. Put this on your machine, and you can sew right along this, okay? And that will close that down. Or you can take fabric glue and tack it if you want to leave this open. Because you're going to be washing it, it may fray if you don't do anything with it, just saying. Now what you want to do is you want to go over to your machine. Okay, and we're going to make a casing. So where your, well, actually you could top stitch all the way around this where your casing is going to be, but where your slit is, you want to mark that on this outside here, so you know where you are. Okay, so I'm just going to stick my thumb in there, and that's where I am, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Now, like I said, if you want to go all the way up with this second one, that's your prerogative right there. That's chalk, so it'll wash out. I am just going to stitch from this line all the way down. Now, depending on how big your string is, now if you use the clothesline, which is excellent, okay, you'll want a good inch, because this needs to be able to slide easily for pulling. If you want it tight, it's going to be hard to pull, okay? So I'm going to go about 1 inch out, which would be right here, And I am just going to sew an inch all the way around this till I get back up to right here, okay? So I'm just going to go sew an inch all the way around, and I'll be right back. So now you'll have this. You have your line across here, okay? Now, before I insert my string, because we can do that with the band on, I'm going to make the band. So with my remaining fabric, I want a good little chunky here, but I don't have a good little chunky. You want a piece that is 5 by the width of your fabric, okay? So it'll be 5 by 45 or 60. Now if you're bigger than that, adjust it accordingly to you, okay? So you'll want to iron your fabric in half like so, wrong side to wrong side. Then open your fabric, and you want to sew or iron a piece down. I showed this in my last video last week. And then do the same on this side, because these sides, and you want to make sure it's the same. So you can mark a piece of cardboard and use it so you know that it's the same length. It's important you have it the same length, because when you sew, you want to catch the front and the back, okay? So I'm going to go iron mine, and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so once you get that done, it will look like this. Fold it in, fold it in, fold it over. Now you'll want to kind of find the middle. I'm just going to eyeball mine because I'm not going to be wearing it no-how. And you just want to slip this on here, okay? This is going to close our two pieces together and put our binding on to begin with. And the way I like to do this is unfold it. I know my half crease is right here, and I know this is going to be even if I put the top of this apron or whatever I'm doing in the crease of my fabric and then fold that over. So everything is cohesive and packed and tucked in there, okay? Now, I am going to pin mine to make sure that I have both layers, and you could feel that under there and get them even, you know, just by feeling them as well. So I'm just going to pin the top of this so I know it's not going anywhere. So now I'm going to go to the machine, okay, and I'm going to start on one end, and I'm going to make sure they're together, and I'm just going to do a top stitch about 1/8 of an inch in, and make sure I close all this up. Your ends are already done for you because you folded those in. So now you have this. Now all you got to do is take your string, make sure it's not twisted up, you know. Make sure it's all straight. I'm going to pull mine a few times to make sure, because sometimes they twist, and you don't want it twisted. Okay, now you're going to take a safety pin, whatever you turn or whatever you thread things through with, okay? That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to use this, but it's pretty tight. It's just because this is so thick. It's really good for elastic. You go in one of your side seams, okay? Go all the way around. Make sure you pull. Now you got a lot of rope to play with, so that's a good thing, but make sure you're pulling. Now you could have went in 1/2 inch. That's up to you, but I just wanted to make it easy to pull because I done it smaller, and when it gets around these corners, it doesn't like to pull very well. Now skip this one. We'll get to that in a minute. Skip your middle one. Go back around to your other side, okay? That's all I want you to do. Is go all the way back around to the other side. Where is my other side? Now pull string through. Okay? Now even it out. Make sure your strings don't go back in. You got to have your string pretty long. Not too long, but pretty long. Okay, now go in your bottom hole here, pull your string out. When you pull your string out, you're going to want to run it around your fingers and tie a knot in your string, leaving a loop, okay? Pull kind of tight. This ain't going to come up, and it won't, if it slips through, you know, you can find that. It shouldn't slip through. Now, from this, hold this tight and pull all your fabric towards your rope here, okay? You want all your fabric flat. So get your fabric flat. Almost said fabric fat. Get your fabric flat, or as flat as can be. Now, this rope here, you want to remove your bodkin thing. So what you want to do now is you want to take and put a knot. You want to put the knot in the end of your rope. Okay? Now you don't have to do this, but it might help. Make sure you're, just make sure your rope's the same size. Or about the same. Ain't gotta be perfect. And then cut this off. Would you look what I did? Good Lord, what is wrong with me? No worries. Okay, too much coffee and tea, I promise. Now, when you put this on, you take these and start pulling, okay? Then you're going to bring this up. You're going to run this through here. I'm not going to run it through there. And I'm going to start tying. Now you can if you want to, because once you tie a knot, let me show you, or a bow. Let me show you. See how you're drawing this up? This will be around you, but you're just drawing until you get this. I'll show you all how it works. But anywho, you're just going to draw this up, catch this right here, and then you're simply going to take your rope and tie a bow. Now this bow won't slip back over there because it's going to be hanging. And then there's your basket part. So let me show you how this does, okay? I am so embarrassed to do this, but I'll show you. I promise. So I feel so far away. What you want to do, and this will go either way. So if you wanted to use two fabrics, I mean, that's up to you. But anyways, you just tie it around your waist, okay? Now, just to show you, this thing is long. You can use it to kneel down, to pull weeds in your garden, your flower garden, vegetable garden, whatever. But to cinch it, you want to take this and you want to start pulling your sides, okay? Just pull your sides up. Now, I don't know why I did that. Sorry, you can tell I don't garden. You want this part, okay? I'm literally wearing a curtain. All right, now, you want to take your string, run it through. Take this one, run it through. And then simply, wherever you want this thing, tie your bow in it. And then tuck your strings. Now, you have a gathering apron. You can put a lot of stuff in here. Well, that was that. So, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. And Miss Lisa, if you have any problems with this, you know how to get a hold of me, alright? I don't mind answering any questions you have or helping you at all. So with all that being said, remember, you are a blessing. Until next time, goodbye.